Hi, YouTube friends. It's Judy Meredith, the teaching therapist. And today I want to talk to you about a pattern of being selfless in your life, a pattern of selflessness. And I want to talk about why not only is that pattern unhealthy, but it's also dangerous to you. Okay. So I work with a lot of women, and I've worked with them over the years who have been involved in abusive and narcissistically abusive relationships. And they ask me, what, you know, why does this keep happening? Where does this pattern come from? And quite honestly, it's coming from within them. It's not on the outside of us. So if we're in a pattern of being in these relationships and we are the type of person that constantly puts other people first and set ourselves to the side and our desires and the things that we want, um, that is a perfect recipe for a narcissist. Okay. That's the type of person that they're going to look for and that they're going to want to bond with, because somebody who has boundaries and stands up for themselves and does not allow for any foolishness or any mistreatment, the narcissist, quite frankly, doesn't want to even bother with someone like that. It's not going to go very far very fast. And it's interesting to me that a lot of women who ask questions about, inquire about how can I get out of this pattern, they will see people who stand up for themselves as, they'll call them the B word, that, I don't want to be that B word. And right away, to me, that clues me into understanding that they've been conditioned by society in a certain way, as females are, to always be nice and always be accommodating, always have a smile, always take care of someone, see people's needs and meet those needs. All those types of behaviors. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, and certainly that's even advisable if you're taking care of small children, or you're in a healthy relationship where there's give and take. There's definitely a place for that kind of behavior. But when that's your default setting for every relationship that you have, that is definitely not healthy. So you have to be careful about that. And we women are socially, um, we are socially acculturated, or taught and how to be female. And part of that is to be accommodating and be nice. It's always the nice girl, right? There's nothing wrong with being nice. And I like to tell clients, don't give up that loving, empathic part of you, the one that really wants to help people and be there for people and enjoys that. Don't give that up, but add some skills into your behavioral repertoire. And that takes work and that takes time. And, people want to know, where does this come from? Like I said, it comes from the larger culture. A lot of the ideas that are there for us to adopt are not healthy. And so you want to be careful about that. And if you are protecting your own life and being a good steward of the life that you've been given on this planet, it's very important to protect yourself. And there's nothing about that would be wrong. So be a good steward of the life that you've been given, and let go of the need to be worrying about what other people think. And one of the statements that I've heard about that people can use as an affirmation is, what other people think of me is none of my business. And sometimes when you repeat that to yourself over and over again, you start to go, okay, that makes sense. It isn't my business what that person thinks. And then you set that boundary there, and it allows you to kind of throw that out and move on with your life, doing the things that you know you need to do. Yeah, it's really going to be an important change that you need to make. You do not want to be an easy target for a narcissist. You just don't. If you have ever read Melody Beattie and her Codependent No More book, the second book of that series has a list of unhealthy family rules in it. And you may have grown up in a family where it wasn't okay to have needs and to have to have needs and to have problems, to need help, to need support. And a lot of times in families, the rule is don't have any needs. Don't bother us with any of your problems. We're busy. We're overloaded with our own. And what happens then is you start to learn that you're not important and your needs don't matter. But another lesson that you get out of that is I'm going to be the best person I can and be so helpful to them, and I'll get my love that way. They'll recognize me then. They'll value me then. So you start to serve them as a child, when in fact they should be serving you because you're the child. But this is how this pattern is learned, and then you come out of your childhood and into the adult world with this thinking, this wrong, irrational belief that you need to be able to serve other people in order to be valuable. And you need to be nice all the time because you don't bother people with things about you. And that's sometimes where we lose our identity too. We've never had a chance to just be ourselves and to be supported in growing and learning and becoming who we're going to be. So then I have a lot of women asking me, I don't even know who I am. So these are the points that I wanted to make about this. The thing that you really want to be able to do as you go forward is to get out of a relationship when you see the very first deal-breaking red flag, and you want to be able to get out at the beginning, not at the end. The end being however long you stayed in that unhealthy thing. So start to understand your value and that you do have a right to be nice to yourself first, and that is your most important responsibility. And be okay. I kind of look at the B word as babe in total control of herself. And that reframes it for us that you should be in total control of yourself. And this is going to involve setting a boundary with the self, because you're not going to be comfortable at first doing this. You're not going to be comfortable saying, I need to tend to my own life and I don't have to go out of my way for that person, especially when that person is not treating me well. So I hope that this was helpful for you today. Probably will do some more videos on this particular topic because it's pretty deep and there's a lot more to be said. So if you like the video, please hit the like button, share the video with someone who you think may get something from it, and subscribe to my channel. Okay. Until next time, take care. Bye.